All right, thank you. Welcome to our Election Day City Council meeting. We do have some brief business and one thing that wasn't really on the agenda, which is flooding today, but we'll start as usual with the call of the roll.
Yes, Mayor. Mayor Arnold,
Yes.
Councilmember Bliss,
Yes.
Councilmember Franklin,
Yes.
Councilmember Smith,
Here.
Councilmember Alexander, absent. Councilmember Hickson Shepherd,
Here.
Councilmember Hasselmeyer.
Here.
All right, thank you. We do have one proclamation which I'll read this evening, and that is, whereas November is designated as Native American Heritage Month, this observance commemorates the history, heritage, and culture of Native Americans and Alaskan Natives. And whereas we would like to acknowledge that Webster Groves is located on the ancestral, traditional, and contemporary lands of the Osage, Kaskaskia, Kickapoo, and other tribes, and whereas these commemorations allow our nation to pause and reflect on the profound ways the first Americans have shaped our country's country and culture as the first stewards of our environment and early voices for the values that define our nation. And whereas today their spirit and many contributions continue to enrich our communities and strengthen our country, and we honor their legacy. And whereas, as we celebrate the rich traditions of the original people of what is now the United States, we cannot forget the long and unfortunate chapters of violence, discrimination, and deprivation they had to endure. And whereas today, as community and tribal leaders, members of the armed forces, and drivers of progress and economic growth, American Indians and Alaskan Natives are working to carry forward their proud history. And whereas we owe it to the Native peoples to continue in our efforts to create a community that fully empowers them to live and thrive, to promote visibility of the rich diversity of Native cultures, and to address the tragedies of the missing and killed Indigenous peoples and the generations of children lost to boarding schools. And whereas during Native American Heritage Month, the city of Webster Groves recognizes and celebrates the culture and heritage of Native Americans and reaffirms our appreciation of the ideals which our first Americans held dear. Now, therefore, I, Laura Arnold, Mayor of the City of Webster Groves, and the entire City Council do hereby proclaim the month of November 2024 as Native American Heritage Month and urge the residents of our community to celebrate Native Americans and Alaskan Natives for their contributions to our country. All right. Thank you for that. We will have remarks from community and visitors. If you would like to make a remark, we're going to ask you to use the raise your hand function in the Zoom, that feature of Zoom. You will have your usual 3 minutes, which the clerk will time. I am looking to see, and Mr. Dave Buck has his hand up. If we could unmute Mr. Buck and give him his chance to comment, please.
Okay, can
All
you
right,
hear me?
Dave, I believe you're unmuted, so it's your turn.
Okay, just several things real quick. Number one, I miss Eric a lot. Two, I wish Robert Myers well, and I thank him for making a big impact in his short time here. Three, I congratulate Chair Jeff Smith and the entire Plan Commission, along with liaisons Emily and Neil, on running a long but orderly meeting last night. And the commission voted unanimously on sending a rezoning recommendation to the city council. And I really want to point out Emily and Neil, they're liaisons, but they let the commission do the job and they let them do the work. And I thought that was great leadership on their part. Four, again, it's a small step for man, but I appreciate council's voting on 3 gun control bills tonight. 5, concerning Native American Heritage Month. My mom was from Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. That's Muskogee tribe country. A broken arrow is a major sign of peace among Native Americans because you cannot shoot or kill anybody with a broken arrow. As such, I will keep advocating to make peacemaking a priority with City Council and in City Hall. Finally, and last but not least, our 3rd annual Webster Singing Talent Show for amateur singers is this Saturday night, 7 to 9 in the concert hall of the Community Music School. The great Michelle Sargent will be with us once again and singing a song from the movie Harriet, she's just awesome. And then a week from then, our second annual Webster Grooves Community Dance Party will be held on Saturday night, November the 16th, 7:30 to 10:30 at the Masonic Temple. And Arvell and Company, St. Louis's premier dance band, will be playing once again. It should be great. So that's it. Thanks.
Right. Thank you, Dave. And thanks for continuing to organize these great community events. We really appreciate it. We're going to move on to new business. Before I do have some new business, do any council members have new business?
No.
I do not see anyone indicating they do. I am going to, during this time in our agenda, turn over to Deputy City Manager Renee Tyler for an update on the flooding that occurred overnight and into this morning. Just so we have a status update, and those of you who have not had a chance to check your email, you do have some emails from residents that I responded to today if you want to take a look. All right. You are muted.
I'm no longer muted.
You are good to go. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you, Mayor. So just a really brief update. First and foremost, I want to say thank you to our team, our fire, police, public works, planning, parks and rec team. Actually, we pulled together starting at 5 o'clock this morning. Chief Ellis was actually organizing and out in the streets. We have had several good things happen despite the day. First and foremost, the majority of our streets are opened. North Forest, the bad flooding areas, North Forest, East Pacific, East Jackson are open. Deer Creek Park are open. Marshall is still closed as of 5 o'clock this afternoon. It might be open now, as well as Kirkham. We had great emergency response efforts. The fire and police were working not only within our city, but with other cities. We were responding to stranded vehicles, limbs down in the street. Public Works was removing trees. We had several instances, as you know, with the Schnucks parking lot. Our Public Works people were over there inspecting it, making certain that if there was anything that we could do, we did do it. We also had situations happening in Deer Creek Park with respect to contaminated chemicals getting dumped into, because of the flood, not because of people, into the park. We are working with MSD on that. With respect to houses, the areas on North Pacific, Forest, Jackson, we did experience severe flooding. We have been in contact with the county because we are trying to make certain that we are considered for disaster relief. Our department manager, department planning director, Robert Myers, has put together an excellent summation, which was shared with the mayor this evening, of the houses that we know of today that have experienced flooding. That includes houses, condominiums, apartment buildings, and such, as well as some industrial buildings. The pedestrian bridge between Webster Groves and Maplewood Deer Creek Park is still closed until further notice. GRG is bringing an engineering team out to evaluate the bridge and its footings before it will be reopened. Our baseball field did become ruined. The backstop fence has been destroyed, and we will probably have to make an inventory during the rest of the week to determine what other park amenities wash downstream. Other things that happened, our new water park construction was impacted by the excess waters. Portions of the embankment, which were excavated to install retaining walls, slumped off. We also lost power to the tennis shack. Our crews responded to a lightning strike. We also had rescue teams at North Laclede Station Road and Marshall Avenue for a water rescue, as well as we worked with Webster Grove. Well, we worked with Brentwood and Maplewood to do a victim removal from rising waters all throughout the area. I think that's the overall. I am going to send a longer report to you, and we will be reevaluating the damage throughout the rest of the week. So we will not have anything solid probably until next week. As you guys know, the cleanup effort is going to take some time. Additionally, we are working on the creation of a survey to allow citizens to put their input in as far as who was impacted, where, and the level of the impact of the flood. That data will be used to help us evaluate where we are with our stormwater management plan, and to determine whether or not we missed some places, if we need to add some capital improvement projects. I'm probably about to put the cart before the horse, but in addition, we have been working with Waste Management to set up a dumpster relief program for citizens, individual dumpsters, as well as drop-off points within the city. So, Mayor, that is my update for now.
Thank you, and we'll come back to the dumpster issue. Does anyone have any questions for Deputy City Manager Tyler? Yes, Councilmember Hickson Shepherd.
I had a question about if people are impacted, should they be notifying the city, notifying MSD, waiting for the survey? What's the best way to direct them?
That's a great question, Councilwoman. I cannot answer you right now. We are putting together an action plan. I will be better prepared to respond to that tomorrow.
Okay. Thanks.
You're welcome.
So, Renee, as I understand it, the plan then is at some point tomorrow, you'll have a little more information, again, still preliminary, including anything we need to disseminate to residents to say, this is how you tell us what happened to you. And I think we can all agree that we'll share that widely. And I know you mentioned to me earlier today that we'd use all our social media outlets to distribute that as well.
Yes.
Any other? Oh, please go ahead.
I'm sorry, Mayor. Yes. So with respect to that, Chief Estevez has already put together a list of draft questions, and I have not had an opportunity yet to sit down with our PIO officer to discuss the best way to frame it, the best way to push it out, because as you know, we don't want the survey to be too long because people might not participate, but we do need to put it together so that we can extrapolate the most pertinent information and go from there. So again, that we hope to have that finalized by midday tomorrow.
All right. Are there other questions? Go ahead, Jay.
I have a quick, just a question. I know there's probably no answer yet, but what's the feasibility of this being declared a disaster again by the federal government?
I don't know. That is part of the rationalization for putting the survey together.
Okay.
We have to have data. I spoke with the county. The very first question that was asked, Councilwoman, was how many people were impacted?
Mm-hmm.
We have no idea.
Okay.
So the survey would allow people to self-report. Actually, I think it's a brilliant idea that the chief recommended, because you can see as much as possible, but when people are given that opportunity to tell us, that allows us to draw more information, have sustainable data, and that is what the county is looking for to determine whether or not we can be declared a disaster area.
Okay, thank you very much.
Just one more comment on that. I have talked to Lisa Clancy, our county council member today, who has on our behalf talked to Sam Page, and so she is well aware of this. Joe Dahl is aware of this as well, because we'll have to go to the state level. And then also Congressman-elect Bell and his office have been in touch with us as well. So I think if we meet the criteria, our elected officials are willing to help us move along. So it'll just be dependent on what we end up with in the data. So one of the things that happened today, one of the things that we seem to have a fair amount of agreement on among council when we talked about the climate resilience plan was the idea that after an event like this, we might provide some help to residents in terms of cleaning up. And there was a strong consensus, it seemed, on that part. So as Renee has mentioned, there is this idea that we will move forward with helping provide some dumpsters and coming up with a process that we can help residents with that. That's going to spend some money, and so I just wanted to make sure that we, as you as council members, were okay with that. Is there any objection to that use of some of these funds?
No, excellent idea, Mayor.
Well, I wish I could take credit for it, but it's not my credit to take, but thank you.
Oh, no, I'm just saying overall, it's
Yeah.
excellent.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. All right, so since there's no objection to that, and then, you know, we can revisit on the 19th if there are other things that have come up that we might be able to do. Certainly, staff will come back to us. We'll schedule a more in-depth report about where we are and everything for the November 19th meeting. All right. Anything else from you, Renee? I don't want to cut it short if you have anything else.
No, I will definitely keep you, I'll go through you to keep the updates, and you know, we'll funnel it to the council. The one thing that I do want to mention with respect to the dumpsters, we are working to get better pricing. For lack of a better term, I don't want to say affordable because I don't know what's affordable to folk, but something that's not the normal pricing, as well as Waste Management has been extremely cooperative, working with them to look at having not charging for lifts if they, you know, they tip the dumpster. So we're trying to, I'm working with them. They understand we want to make this as seamless and accessible as possible without adding additional stress to our citizens and residents.
All right, thank you. Before we move on, though, just let me add my thanks on behalf of all of us to Chief Aceves, Chief Ellis. I see our Director of Public Works, Anon, is on, and Robert Myers in planning, and especially to you, Renee. I know you were running the ship today, so thank you very much for all your hard work, everyone. And I talked to some officers who are out today, and so thank you to all our firefighters and officers as well. Public Works staff as well. Just everybody, because it was an all hands on deck day.
Yeah. Parks and Rec as well.
Yes, Parks and Rec as well. Thank you. All right, we'll move on to unfinished business. Councilmember Hassemeyer, could you call for the third reading of Bill number 9255, please?
Yes, Madam Mayor, could I would like to call for the third reading of Bill number 9255.
Second.
Neil?
I'm sorry.
We're at 9255, third
Yes,
reading, please.
Bill 9255, third and final reading. An ordinance for the city of Webster Groves, Missouri, amending chapter 70 by adding a new section 70.227, prohibiting the possession, manufacture, transport, repair, and sale of certain weapons.
All right, is there any discussion? I think we discussed this last meeting, and just want to again say thank you. And this goes for all three for the work that's been done on this. All right, I think we're ready for the vote.
Yes, Mayor. Councilmember Bliss?
Yes.
Councilmember Franklin?
Yes.
Councilmember Smith?
Yes.
Councilmember Alexander?
Yes.
Councilmember Hickson Shepherd,
Yes.
Councilmember Hasselmeyer,
Yes.
Mayor Arnold.
Yes. Councilmember Alexander, could you call for the third reading of Bill number 9256, please?
Yes, I'd like to call for the third and final reading of Bill number 9256 and its subsequent adoption.
Second.
Bill 9256, third and final reading. An ordinance of the City of Webster Groves, Missouri, amending Chapter 70 by adding a new section 70.226 related to the unlawful transfer of weapons to a minor and failure to report a stolen or lost deadly weapon or explosive.
Is there any discussion? All right, let's have that vote then as well, please.
Yes, Mayor. Councilmember Franklin,
Yes.
Councilmember Smith,
Yes.
Councilmember Alexander,
Yes.
Councilmember Hickson Shepherd,
Yes.
Councilmember Hasselmeyer,
Yes.
Mayor Arnold,
Yes.
Councilmember Bliss.
Yes.
Councilmember Smith, could you call for the third reading of Bill number 9271, please?
Yes, Mayor, I'd like to call for the reading of Bill number 9271 and third reading of Bill number 9271 and its subsequent adoption.
Second.
Bill 9271, third and final reading. An ordinance of the City of Webster Groves, Missouri, amending Chapter 70 by adding a new section 70.226 related to carrying a weapon in public buildings and failure to leave when requested.
Is there any discussion? All right, let's have the vote, please.
Councilmember Smith,
Yes.
Councilmember Alexander,
Yes.
Councilmember Hickson Shepherd,
Yes.
Councilmember Hasselmeyer,
Yes.
Mayor Arnold,
Yes.
Councilmember Bliss,
Yes.
Councilmember Franklin.
Yes.
All right, we'll move on to new business. We just have one item of new business. Councilmember Franklin, could you call for the first and second reading of Bill number 9272, please?
Yes, Madam Mayor, I'd like to call for the first and second reading of Bill number 9272.
Second.
Bill 9272, first reading. An ordinance granting a lot split subdivision at 2801 Breckenridge Industrial Court, Zoned E Industrial District.
Does anyone have any questions? It's pretty simple, straightforward piece of business here. All right, we'll have the second reading then, please.
Bill 9272, second reading. An ordinance granting a lot split subdivision at 2801 Breckenridge Industrial Court, Zoned E Industrial District.
All right, thank you. Does anyone wish to remove anything from the consent agenda? All right, Councilmember Bliss, could you call for its approval, please?
Yes, Mayor, I'd like to call for the approval of the consent agenda.
Second.
Second.
Councilmember Alexander,
Yes.
Councilmember Hickson Shepherd,
Yes.
Councilmember Hasselmeyer,
Yes.
Mayor Arnold,
Yes.
Councilmember Bliss,
Yes.
Councilmember Franklin,
Yes.
Councilmember Smith.
Yes.
All right, thank you. We've made no appointments to boards and commissions, and then we will stand in adjournment until our meeting on November 19th.
Did you do the consent agenda?
We did.
That's what we just did.
Oh, okay.
Our efficiency has dazzled you.
I know. I didn't make a tick mark by it, so I thought it was still outstanding.
All right, thank you very much, everyone, and you know, we'll do our best to keep you informed over the next couple of days, and then certainly next meeting's packet will have information for whatever discussion we have during that meeting.
Mayor, thank you for all your communication today.
Yeah, thank you.
All
Thanks,
right,
Renee.
yeah,
All right.
all right.
Have a good evening.
Happy election
Night,
night.
everyone.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.